Welcome friends. Today the topic for the discussion is determination of absorption rate, specifically Wagner-Nelson method. As we know, there are two different methods. Specifically, main important, there are two methods. Other than that, there are the two methods, but that we will not discuss. The main method we have discussed previously, that is the method of residual in our previous video. Today we will discuss about Wagner-Nelson method. There is a slight difference between the Wagner-Nelson method and the method of residual. In the method of residual, actually it is a graphical method, number one. Number two, we make some assumptions. Firstly, we make an assumption that the absorption rate process is very fast in comparison to the elimination rate process. And the second thing that we assume is we make a general consideration that the total absorption and the elimination process, whichever thing is happening in the compartmental design, is following a first order rate kinetics. So you can say these are the limitations of the method of residual. Whereas for the Wagner-Nelson method, we don't make such assumptions, and it is also not totally graphical method or totally doesn't depends on the graph. So let us see what it is actually. Here, this is the consideration we have to make when we go for the Wagner-Nelson method. We assume that X naught is the amount of the drug which is present in the systemic circulation, and that equals to X GIT, that is the amount of the drug which is unabsorbed, and XA is the amount of the drug which is absorbed. Now which drug is absorbed? So XA, which is absorbed, is actually it reflects the amount of the drug which is present in the plasma concentration and the amount which is undergoing elimination. Okay, it is a general assumption which is further undergoing a plasma concentration and further which is undergoing a elimination. Now what we are going to do is, firstly we will be considering the derivatives. So we will derivatize this equation. So change of the rate of change of XA with time equals to dx by dt, and the rate of change of drug in the urine we can write like this. And now if you say this, of course, dx e by dt can be written as kex. So we can write this one in place of this. So it depends upon the amount of drug which is undergoing the elimination process. And this value, if we consider this value, so what we can write, dxa by dt equals to, if you want to change it to the concentration term, so we can write it Vd into dc by dt plus kex. So kex if you write, so x can also be converted into the concentration term as we need to see. The next step, what we are going to do, we are going to multiply both the sides by dt. So if you multiply both the sides by dt, you get dxa equals to Vd into dc plus ke into Vd c dt. So this is the equation which you are getting. Okay. Now this equation, if you want to determine, so this is an important equation which has to be considered for our calculation purpose. So we have to calculate. We will do two things. Once we will integrate it within the limits of t equals to 0 to t equals to infinity. So this will be one. Another will be from t equals to 0 to t equals to t. So these will be two assumptions which will be considered. Okay. So first let us do the first one. So this assumption we will consider. So if you consider that assumption, we will be getting, so integration of dxa 0 to infinity equals to vd into dc 0 to infinity equals plus ke bd cdt 0 to infinity. So this one what we are getting in one way. So if you consider this, so this from 0 to infinity, if you consider the quantity of xa to integrate, so it represents the total amount of the drug which is being eliminated, which is being absorbed up to infinity time. Whereas if you consider how much amount of the, what will be the concentration, final concentration of the drug. So you know that initially it is 0, it is moving, increasing, and at infinity time when it will eliminate, the total drug will remove from the body. So nothing will be there. So in this case, this value will become 0. Whereas for this thing, KEVD, CDT can be represented as AUC 0 to infinity. So CDT represents AUC 0 to infinity. So this one what we are getting. The another thing, if you consider, so this is one equation. If you consider this condition, we can write dxa 0 to t equals to same thing vd into dc 0 to t plus ke into vd cdt 0 to t. So probably you are getting this one as a part of it. So if you say this same thing xa, it will become t specific, the amount of the drug which is absorbed up to t time equals to vd into, so this will be considered the total drug which is absorbed with the concentration, that is Ct, plus Ke into Vd AUC 0 to t. Okay. So we got another equation. This second equation. Now, if you say just dividing equation 2 by equation 1, what it says? What it says actually? It says this is the total drug which is finally that is being taken inside. So at a moment this suggests the amount or the fraction of the drug that is undergoing absorption. So this fraction represents the amount of the drug which is undergoing absorption at the particular time t. So this can be written as VD into CD plus KE into VD AUC 0 to T divided by KE VD AUC 0 to infinity. So hope so you are getting what I mean to say. This is nothing but it is the fraction of the drug which is undergoing absorption. Okay. Now if I say suppose if you want to simplify a little bit, just what we can do, we can remove the VD. So CT plus KE into AUC 0 to T divided by KE into AUC 0 to infinity. So this we can write it as XAT by XA infinity. Hope so you understood the derivation process up to this much. So also you got it. What I am doing, you got it till this one. Keep this thing in mind. So I am just removing this part. I am just removing this part. This now also you have written it down. So I am just removing this part, and I am to show you something. So if you consider this as a compartment, GIT, where X0 is the total drug initially present, and with the due time course following and Ka rate kinetics, the drug is moving out from the GIT to outside. Outside means is going in the systemic circulation. From GIT is moving outside. So it is somewhat, if you consider this, you can think of the IV bolus compartmental design. Yes or no? Yes. So if you think in that way, so how can you write it in a first order rate kinetic process? It's very easy. So XGIT. So XGIT means the amount present in that compartment equals to X0, that is initial dose, into e to the power minus KT. Okay. So XGIT by X0 equals to e to the power minus KT. So what I can write? Directly I am going for log. Yes, we can write this one. So this is the fraction of the drug unabsorbed. What we discussed till now? We discussed fraction of the drug which is absorbed. This is unabsorbed and this is absorbed. So it is different a little bit. So if I take this consideration, log of XGIT by X0, and this is time. So I get a slope. From that slope, okay, I made a little mistake. It is Ka. So this is Ka by 2.303. So from this slope I can determine the value of Ka. Now you will be saying, sir, what is the correlation between what you derived over there and what it is over here? There is a connection and I can make it connected. What I told you, this is the fraction of the drug which is unabsorbed. Now if I make it 1 minus XAT by XA infinity, that means what? XA infinity minus XAT by XA infinity. This will give you the fraction of the drug which is unabsorbed. Yes or no? If total is 1 and this is the fraction of the drug which is absorbed at the given time t. So 1 minus is the total, if I consider 1 as a whole number of the fraction. So 1 minus, if I do the thing, so the remaining part is nothing but your xgi by x naught. This is the fraction of the drug which is unabsorbed. So this will give you the fraction of the drug which is unabsorbed, or rather you can say that this thing can be correlated with this. Yes, so simple, you can make it 1 minus the whole thing, that is KEAUC 0 to infinity CT plus KEAUC 0 to T. Okay, so this thing you are getting. Now they have done, suppose this is fraction of the drug absorbed, you want to get it in percentage. So if you are doing it in percentage, this fraction you want to represent in percentage, you can make this as a percentage, multiplied by 100 to both the sides, you will be getting percentage drug which is unabsorbed. Okay, now if they are saying okay, percentage fraction log, so take log to both the sides. If you take log to both the sides, automatically you will get log amount of the drug which is unabsorbed. It's very easy. Now what we are going to do, so this value implies this one. So if you want to go for taking log, so take log to both the sides. So if you take log to both the sides, so log, this is fraction of the drug unabsorbed equals to log whatever the value you are getting. So for each time value, you will be getting this values will be derived for each time value of your extravascular administration. And those values you can just derive it and you can get this value. Finally, you will get this value, and this value will be extrapolated as your y-axis in comparison to the x-axis, that is time, and you will be getting your straight line. You will draw the straight line and the slope equals to k by 2.3. So hence it is proved. Now the one thing you have to remember is that you might be thinking, sir, why to do the thing in this way? We can do it in the straight way. You are showing this is the straight way. Why we are going to this? The only reason is that practically, theoretically I can do it, but practically we cannot determine the amount of the drug which is unabsorbed. It is not possible. So the amount of the drug which is unabsorbed gets reflected to the amount of the drug which is absorbed, and the blood samples what we collect tells you how much drug is absorbed or how much drug is absorbed which is present in the plasma, or it is being eliminated out in the systemic circulation. So only the pharmacokinetic evaluation enables us to deal with the plasma drug concentration. I cannot know what is present in GIT. So to do that, we have done this process. So probably you will be getting this value. So this will be implying over here. So next step, I am just explaining it off. Take log to both the sides. So 1 minus this and 1 minus this. Then take log to both the sides. So when you take log to both the sides, you get this value. So this will give you a table so that you can correlate with the points, with the time, and you can draw a straight line. So when you are getting this value, after this, what you have to remember that you are getting a straight line. From there you draw a slope. Get the slope value equals to k by 2.313. Now if this is a straight line, it is clear cut, you can say that your absorption rate kinetics follows a first order rate process. A first order rate process. If you are taking the log scale versus time. Suppose instead of this if it is not giving a straight line in a log this versus time, it suggests that it is not following a first order. So it may be following a zero order rate kinetics. So from this graph you can come to know which kind of rate process does your absorption rate kinetics follows. So hope so you understood how to derive and correlate and how to represent the absorption rate kinetics which I obtained from the Wagner-Nelson method. Hope so you understood the derivations properly. The only thing before conclusion, as a conclusion remark, I like to say is that most of the time students gets confused with this concept. Most of the cases this concept is not made clear. So students cannot understand how from this we are getting the value of Ka. So hope so you can understand now how, in which concept do we get the value of Ka and what is being correlated to get the value of Ka. Thank you.